In this video, I'm going to talk about what I think is the most important thing Christians need to do in order to bring healing to our relationships with LGBTQ+ individuals. What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. I'm Ryan Becker, and I discuss absurd issues in religion, culture, and society, and I try to find a way to navigate them. Ultimately, I aim to encourage people and create content that allows us to grow together into the people that we aim to be and the future we want to create. So if that resonates with you and you want to join me on that journey, it would mean the world to me if you click that subscribe button. Originally, I began crafting this video outline via live stream alongside my viewers. We came up with a list of about 5 things I wanted to encourage Christians to do in this area. But after sleeping on it, I came to the conclusion that all 5 fit into one basic action: love without a disclaimer. That's it. If I could tell Christians to do one thing, it would be to love people without a disclaimer. Right now, many Christians currently approach the LGBTQ+ conversation from a state of exceptionalism or superiority. Many Christians believe that they have the truth and about their orientation or gender, and many Christians start every conversation from that position. Right now, many Christians currently approach the LGBTQ+ conversation from a state of exceptionalism or superiority. Many Christians believe they have the truth about their orientation or their gender, and many Christians start every conversation from that position. A lot of Christians do this in general, but I see it especially in this area. And this means 2 things for any individual Christian that falls into the above description. Number 1, they must deliver this truth in some way, shape, or form in order to save the other person. And number 2, they must make sure other Christians don't think they are approving of the LGBTQ+ community in any way, shape, or form. In other words, this approach means every interaction becomes inherently selfish, with the Christian caring more about imparting their own knowledge or about how other Christians might view them, rather than them having any genuine interest in an LGBTQ+ person and their life. LGBTQ+ people end up being used as nothing more than a tool for social approval from the in-crowd. If Jesus cared about this during his ministry the same way that we do, he wouldn't have healed, served, loved, and ultimately saved more than half of the people he did during his time here. And by the way, the people that Jesus loved and others associated him with weren't actually lesser. Others just considered them so. But Jesus saw the person that he loved and wanted to love beyond the condemnation and condescension that others treated them with. It's sad this even needs to be said, but LGBTQ+ individuals aren't any lesser than anyone else. The only reason people see them that way is because they want to or they've been taught to. And it means that Christians color every interaction with making sure they signal back to other Christians that they don't approve or accept the other ways of living. We feel the need to put the disclaimer on everything we do, lest some other Christian get the idea that we are somehow approving of their lifestyle choices. At that point, every friendship and conversation is nothing more than virtue signaling. Unfortunately, regardless of whether or not you personally identify with what I've said so far, Christians who do have been and still are responsible for a lot of the damage being done to the LGBTQ+ community. This means that any Christians who don't think that way need to operate with awareness and sensitivity to that reality. Before I continue explaining, I do want to talk about one elephant in the room: theological position. Ultimately, the most well-known expressions of Christianity that exist, well, they're known for disapproving of LGBTQ+ romantic expression, and in many cases, unfortunately, identity as well. This will remain irreconcilable, and for many people, it will serve as a deal breaker. As long as neither change their respective position on that matter, this divide will exist to some extent. That said, there are other areas of life where this is true, and yet Christians maintain positive and authentic relationships with many other groups that are ideologically different. Why can't we do that here? As long as we are more concerned with a disclaimer than we are a person, we will never be able to genuinely love them. We will only see as far as their orientation or what box they check on a form. But we will never see the true person that God loves just as much as he loves everyone else. Beyond that, we will also never be able to properly acknowledge the reality and the pain that our own actions and the actions of others have caused. We will always seek to defend or provide justification for the terrible things we have done in the past, rather than seek true reconciliation by acknowledging past mistakes, apologizing for them, and developing ways to move forward together. When you genuinely love someone, Sure, you may want to share something that you believe could be life-changing for them, but you also only do that through a true relationship with someone else. You don't do it off the bat, and you certainly don't spend the entirety of the relationship waiting to pounce on every opportunity that presents itself. As long as you love with an agenda from the start, you will never fully love someone. And even if they don't spot it right away, they will eventually. And they will realize that you care more about being right than you do about them. Many LGBTQ+ individuals just avoid relationships with Christians altogether for this very reason. It's happened enough to them that they don't feel any desire to keep going down the same road that they've traveled down so many times before that has only caused them pain and heartache. It's not stereotyping Christians. It's basic self-defense and self-care. Generally speaking, no one wants to keep hanging out with people who continually hurt them. So when I say love without a disclaimer, what I mean is treat them the way you treat literally everyone else that you are already close to. Unless, of course, you're a jerk to them as well. In which case, work on that first. We don't treat our kids, our friends, and our spouses with disclaimers. When a husband talks about his wife in casual conversation, he says he loves her, but he doesn't feel the need to bring up that every time she leaves hair in the shower drain, it annoys him every single time that his wife comes up in conversation. But for some reason, Christians feel the need to bring up what bothers them and what they disagree with every time they talk about someone they love from the LGBTQ+ community. As long as our desire for approval from the in crowd is stronger than our desire to genuinely love someone else, we will never heal past relationships or build healthy new ones. Think about what happens when you genuinely love someone. When you love someone, you take the time to learn about them, their experiences, and their life. You learn what makes them tick, and you seek out all avenues to get to know them better and understand them more. When you genuinely love someone, they also know that you genuinely love them. You don't continually remind them of all the things that you don't like about them, nor do you need to tell others of those things. And all of this is true for friend, family, and romantic relationships. So, you want to be someone who begins to bring healing in this conversation? Start here with introspection. Why do you even want to? Is it because they need to know that you believe they are in the wrong? Is it because you want to reach them for Christ? Or is it because you believe that a friendship with them could genuinely be a beautiful and good thing for both of you? Do you want to know them? Or do you just want them to know your beliefs? Friendships always go both ways and benefit both parties. But as long as Christians believe that an LGBTQ+ person doesn't have anything to offer them, the friendship can never be truly real. Why would you want to be friends with someone who only believes that they know better than you do and that you need to always learn from them? And in my opinion, the saddest thing about this is I feel like we shouldn't even have to be told this. We don't have to be told to do this in other kinds of relationships, but so many Christians have had it so ingrained in them that same-sex attraction and identifying as an LGBTQ+ person is so bad, unnatural, and harmful. They've been taught that because Christians have the Bible, they are better and know better than any LGBTQ+ person. And as long as they maintain this taught belief that prevents them from building genuine relationships with LGBTQ+ people, the chances of them having a relationship that would ever dispel those ingrained lies of superiority are virtually non-existent. This is why we usually see parents being the ones most likely to change their minds when they find out that their children identify as a part of the LGBTQ+ community. Obviously, when they discover this, parents hit a fork in the road, and many unfortunately choose their long-held positions over truly loving their child, which is incredibly tragic and heartbreaking to me. But many understand that there is a real person, flesh and blood, that they loved before this and they will love after. And it's because of that love, that genuine desire for the good of that person and a relationship with them, that many parents continue to embrace their children and love them. And that's not to say the parents who reject don't love, but rather, their love is misguided. In God's kingdom, loving someone means active participation in their well-being and restoration. Love doesn't feel the need to make a point, because love is the point. But many Christians might shoot back at me saying, but how will they know the truth about their lives unless I tell them? Look, if they know you're a Christian, it's likely they already know your position. There's no need for that. If anything, the only thing that may be needed is for you to affirm to someone that you love them for who they are and that you desire their friendship because you think they're a cool person, not because you believe they need to also have your theological position. It's been true all throughout the history of the church, and it remains true now. The best evidence of the gospel is how we live and how we treat people, not what we say. If you want someone to know that Jesus loves them, the best way to do it is for you to love them too. So, what is the best way for Christians like you and me to bring healing and life into our relationships with LGBTQ+ people of all backgrounds? It's pretty simple. Love them the way that we already love everyone else. But hey, this video wasn't meant to be the whole conversation, just the start of many. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences, your opinions, and perspectives, because we get to grow together. And if you're a member of the LGBTQ+ community, and you've seen this video and want to talk further, or you believe I got something wrong in this video, please let me know. I'm always looking to learn and grow. And I don't know everything, I don't presume to know everything, but I want to learn more. And everything in this video is what I've learned from my own research, from conversations with friends and loved ones, and my own education about this. But I would never presume to know it all. And if you believe this video added value to your life and you want to support what I'm doing here, make sure to click that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with a friend. It would mean the world to me as we journey together to 1,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.